everybody, so we're going to make that third tote I told you about where we were going to jazz it up a little bit. I found in my extra quilt blocks a quilt block we're going to add to the front and make a pocket out of it. So I'm just going to quickly put a backing on it. I found some green material here, so we're just going to go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, I'm just going to trim off the corners. Okay, so I'm going to iron this down, and then when we attach it to the lining, we'll top stitch around and close up where we turned it as well. So I'm going to lay this aside. The next thing we're going to do is grab our lining, and as you can see, I have drawn a little rectangle here, and I'm basing that on the size of my zipper. So what I'm going to do is, this is my stitch line. Well, this is my lining for inside the bag, and so I want an inside pocket, a zipper pocket. So I've got this ready to go, and this will kind of tell you the size of the pocket. You know, my zipper's right here, so that's going to be big enough to drop keys in, maybe a wallet, something like that. So you know, just cut it whatever size fits the zipper and what would fit your phone, your wallet, or something like that. Alright, and then go ahead and place it on your fabric, and this is folded, so I need to unfold my fabric. Now I've got it down just about 1.5 inches from the top, and I want to see how far we are from that edge. We're about 4 inches, and over here the same. So we can go ahead and just sew the complete rectangle. Alright, so now you're going to want to get pretty close to the center of your rectangle and draw a straight line. And then you're going to draw just a little triangle at each end. These are just some cut lines for you. Make sure, once you fold this to cut it, that you don't have any other material in there. Okay, and so you're just going to follow your line and cut down. And then cut, being careful not to cut into your seam. You're just going into that corner. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing to this end. Okay, so once you get it done, it's going to look like this. And now you just want to push your fabric through. And all of this will go through as well. And I'm going to take this to the other room and do a quick iron to get it to lay flat. I just want you to see, because it is going to look kind of awkward, but you're doing it right. So once I get this ironed down, we'll be back and we will attach the zipper. I'll be right. Okay, so I've got this ironed out, and as you can see, you can see what should be folded in better to the back. If this was a purse that I was going to be carrying every day, I would probably worry more about that. But since this is a grocery bag I'm making, I'm not worried. It's so close to the color of my zipper, I'm just not worried about that. So what I'm going to do, and just so you can see back here where we ironed it, I want to lay the zipper down, make sure everything looks good. Alright, so that's going to be laying in just like this. So what I'm going to do first is just do a top stitch all the way around to get the zipper set in. Okay, so we're going to pick this up. Now this is where you would pin it in place also if you're more comfortable with that. But I'm just going to go ahead and get it laid straight under here. And then I'm going to start top stitching it down. Alright. And this is what it looks like on the back. And now we want to fold this up. And what we're going to do, you're going to want to fold your dark green fabric out of the way, because the only thing you're sewing is the pocket. Alright, so this is the inside of our bag, and now we have a pocket. Now the other pocket we're going to add isn't going to be zippered, but just for decoration, just to make the bag a little cuter. Now I'm going to box these corners, so I'm going to be aware of that. Okay, so we've got this, this is our tote, and I'm laying this, just centering side to side, really eyeballing it. This is also going to be a pocket, but it's decorative. So I also want to make sure, though, just to give my handles a little more stability, that I catch those. So what I'll do is I will double stitch across here, and then I'm going to go down one side, over, come up, and secure the handle again. That will leave this open at the top, and because we gave it a pretty back, it's just decorative now, a decorative pocket. So we're going to go ahead and get that sewed on as well. Okay, this time I always like to not do the same thing the same way, to show you there's more than one way to do it. So what I'm going to do this time with the lining is we're going to sew this together, right sides together, and turn it like a pillowcase. Alright, so I'm just double checking myself to make sure that it's right sides together. And we're just going to start sewing. Okay, so I took it to the iron. I've got it ironed, and all we need to do now is get it folded, and we're going to seam up the sides and box our corners. Well, actually, you know, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and top stitch the top and give some more security to our handles here, and then we'll fold that over and sew the sides. With top stitching done, I do want to come down here to the hole where I turned it, and I want to just put a quick stitch there. Okay, now we're ready to do the sides and close up the tote. Hey guys, I'd actually forgotten something else that I wanted to do, and I think we can still do it, but before I close up the sides, I just wanted to show you what it would look like if this is how you left it. if you looked inside your bag, you would have your zipper pocket here. And then, of course, you have the one on the outside. I wanted to put also a zipper in the top of the bag itself. And I had just totally forgotten it. So what I think I can still do, though, is I inset it into some fabric that matched the lining. It's actually what I'd cut off to make the bag a little bit shorter. And I think before we sew up the sides, what we'll be able to do is just go in. I don't have any raw edges showing on it, so I think what I can do is just go in and sew it to each side. So we're going to go ahead and do that before we close up the sides. Now, before I do this side, I did go ahead and unzip the purse so that I could turn it right side out whenever we were ready. And I do want to box the corners just a little, not a lot. And we talked about this in the last couple of videos, so I'm just going to take a small stitch. I'm actually going to measure it right here, that the tip goes up to this little line on my machine. Going to be very thick, so be very careful. You don't want to break a needle. Same thing on the other side. And now, because we left that unzipped, we can reach in and turn it right side out. So you can just poke out those box corners that we just made. Okay, so I've got it turned right side out. And because I did it completely wrong, because I'd forgotten that I wanted to put a zipper in, so we just kind of made it work. We have these, I call that an ugly edge. So what I want to do, and you don't have to, you can leave it as it is because it's fine, it's going to work for you. But what I'm thinking is we can take a corresponding fabric and maybe just put a little thing at the end there. But before I work on that, I did just want to show you. Okay, so on the finished product, we do have our boxed corners. We have decorated the front a little bit with an old quilt square. And really, I was thinking at the beginning this was going to be wider and was going to shorten it more. But you could have moved that farther down. Just depends on your box corners and how it's going to square up. But this is a grocery bag, so it's still fine. So we have a nice lined outer pocket. We were able to still include our zipper, but again, you didn't have to. And then when we open that, we have another zipper pocket, so we could put our wallet or keys, whatever, in there so that they're still secure. If we didn't want to, my idea with this one is we didn't want to take our purse, you know, just have one more bag to worry about. So we could just put our license, wallet, keys, whatever, and it's safe in there. And then this bag will hold all of the other bags. So this would be the only thing you're carrying in with you. And then, because everything is secure here, you still could use it for groceries in addition to the bags that you're carrying in it. There was a reason that I did 3 different videos of these bags. I didn't want you to get overwhelmed. If you're somebody that's tired of plastic and you just wanted something a little more environmentally conscious, then you would just use that very basic bag, right? Get you some canvas material. You could always just use quilting cotton as well. This is just a little heavier duty. But You can make that very first bag and it's totally fine. I just made the lined one to take you a step further with a basic bag. You know, if you wanted to experiment and make one that's a little bit nicer, then you could line it. And then this one I wanted to show you. So, and this is functional, but it's just cute to add something else to the front of it. It could have just been a big solid square on the front too. It's not like it had to be something like this. I was just using up some leftover quilt squares. And then I wanted to show you how to do an inside pocket because they seem so intimidating, but they're really not. So I wanted to show you that as well. And then my intention was to show you the outer zipper too. And I had just forgotten it, and so when I went with this way of sewing the bag up, it threw off how to attach the zipper. So, but this still worked. It still worked totally fine. It's just a recessed zipper, and what I'll need to do is just clean up these edges here, and that won't be a problem. I did just want to show you guys, though, a third bag to take you just that one step further and give you more than just straight seams and give you more than an unlined bag, and do the box corners, show you 2 different ways to put lining in a bag, you know, things like that. There's always more than one way to do it. I didn't want to overwhelm you the first time and show you everything. This kind of took you in a progression to get you to this point where you're already comfortable making the bag, you're comfortable with the lining. Let's add some zippers and decorative parts. So anyway, you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next.